After her mother's death, Baek Soo-jung's father raised her and her brother alone. Baek Soo-jung studied hard, aiming to enter a good university. However, some girls always mocked her family, deliberately damaging her umbrella on rainy days and vandalizing it. When Baek Soo-jung found her umbrella ruined, she retaliated by throwing the girls' books downstairs, standing up against those who maligned her. During a holiday, Baek Soo-jung came home to find her brother gaming all night. She angrily grabbed his hair, and he explained with tears that if his gaming rank were too low, his classmates would look down on him. Knowing the pain of being despised, Baek Soo-jung didn't want her brother to feel friendless and lonely. She sat at the gaming desk, vowing to help her brother reach the top level. When Baek Soo-jung entered the game, she was about to kill a dire wolf to gain power, but a player named Black Flame Dragon killed it first. Annoyed, she accused him of invading her territory and mocked him for not using honorifics, assuming he was a young student. Black Flame Dragon retorted that he was 22 and deserved to be called brother. Before their argument could be resolved, a pack of wolves suddenly surrounded them. In an urgent situation, they looked at each other and jointly fought off the wolves. As the last wolf lunged at Baek Soo-jung, Black Flame Dragon protected her. They then teamed up to defeat the Great Red Wolf, completing the mission. After facing a worthy opponent, the two made peace and developed a mutual respect, forming an alliance. Black Flame Dragon took Baek Soo-jung to meet 3 other clan members who were impressed by their teamwork. If Baek Soo-jung were a girl, they joked, the two could marry on the spot. Baek Soo-jung hurriedly clarified that she was a girl using her brother's male account and identity. Her game name was Strawberry. The others teased that they couldn't marry in the game but could date in real life, which embarrassed both. They went to the riverside to skip stones. Black Flame Dragon asked why Baek Soo-jung used her brother's name in the game. She confessed she wanted to level up her brother's account to avoid mockery. Since their mother died and their father was busy with work, she felt responsible for taking care of her brother. Black Flame Dragon sympathized with her situation and promised to look after her in the game, acknowledging that even the strongest feel lonely. Baek Soo-jung appreciated his reliability, having always wanted a brother. Now, Black Flame Dragon fulfilled that dream. She asked if he had siblings, and he revealed he was an only child with deceased parents. Baek Soo-jung was moved by his even tougher life story, and they promised to rely on each other. When logging off, Baek Soo-jung reluctantly made a pact with Black Flame Dragon to meet online every day at 8 p.m. After that incident, the two began communicating more frequently. Besides gaming, they added each other as online friends. After the new year, their gaming clan agreed to meet in person. Baek Soo-jung dressed up to meet the much-anticipated Black Flame Dragon. Upon reaching the agreed location, 3 other clan members quickly appeared. It was their first face-to-face meeting, yet there was no awkwardness, and they soon spoke freely. Black Flame Dragon, however, did not show up. When the doorbell finally rang, a young, handsome boy entered. Baek Soo-jung excitedly stood up, staring at him. He introduced himself as Black Flame Dragon. Baek Soo-jung saw a boy who looked like a middle schooler and couldn't associate him with the cool and composed Black Flame Dragon. The group moved from the coffee shop to a karaoke bar where Black Flame Dragon sang and danced, accidentally tossing his wig into Baek Soo-jung's lap. Unable to tolerate it any longer, Baek Soo-jung angrily called him a fraud. Black Flame Dragon followed her out, admitting he was only 15, a middle school student who lied about being 22 so as not to be looked down upon by Baek Soo-jung. However, he believed that age and name were not important as long as their hearts connected. He then knelt, pulling a key from his neck to confess his feelings, surrounded by onlookers. Baek Soo-jung's classmates also passed by, heckling her to accept him. Embarrassed, she lashed out, criticizing his beggar-like appearance and terrible singing. Black Flame Dragon ran away crying, only to be carried off by bodyguards to a cram school. This fantasy of a perfect first love turned into a dark history. From this experience, Baek Soo-jung learned that relying on others only led to greater falls. She could only depend on herself. 6 years later, Baek Soo-jung became a team leader at Yongsheng department store. Seeing a supervisor openly harass a female coworker, she broke his arm. When a new supervisor smoked in the meeting room against regulations, she used a fire extinguisher to force him to stop, leading to the departure of 3 supervisors. Employees celebrated, wondering who the next unfortunate person would be. Unknown to everyone, the former Black Flame Dragon, Ban Joo-yeon, the grandson of the store's owner and future heir, was sent by his grandmother to gain experience. Kwon In-kyung conveyed the grandmother's demands for him to always maintain a perfect image and avoid actions detrimental to the family's reputation, ultimately sacrificing any private life that could harm his heir status. Ban Joo-yeon, unwilling to give up his life, often sneaked out to nightclubs. One phone call snapped him back to reality, demanding he see his grandmother. While reaching for his phone, he accidentally rear-ended the car ahead, which happened to be Baek Soo-jung's. Remembering his grandmother's expectations, he hesitated to exit the car, fearing damage to Yongshang department store's image. Baek Soo-jung, furious, banged on his window, demanding he get out. Reluctantly, Ban Joo-yeon exited and recognized Baek Soo-jung's face, feeling a sense of déjà vu. However, to Baek Soo-jung, this seemed like a poor attempt at flirting. She ordered him not to harbor inappropriate thoughts and to focus on resolving the accident. Ban Joo-yeon handed her his lawyer's business card, urging her to contact the lawyer. Baek Soo-jung, furious, tore up the card and instructed an employee to drive the car away. She then turned and got into Ban Joo-yeon's car, not giving him a chance to escape. It was only when the car stopped at the hospital that she realized her actions might have been inappropriate. However, by the time she hesitated, Ban Joo-yeon had already entered the hospital. Inside, Ban Joo-yeon found an employee's grandmother who was attending the funeral. Together, they comforted the bereaved family. Seeing a crying boy reminded him of his own father's funeral, where he was just a child, and his grandmother blamed him for his father's death, resenting him for causing her son's death. Ban Joo-yeon then arrived at Yongshang department store to officially take over as the boss. Before heading to his office, he made an incognito inspection. Unaware of this, Baek Soo-jung complained in the elevator about her car being scratched the previous day, regretting not punching Ban Joo-yeon right then. Her rant was overheard by Ban Joo-yeon, who was in the back of the elevator. He immediately recorded her voice, noting that an employee was causing a disturbance in a public place and needed re-education on manners. Later at the restaurant, Ban Joo-yeon overheard Baek Soo-jung and her colleagues discussing the new boss. Baek Soo-jung complained that the HR system failed to select a good boss, leading to the position always being filled by terrible men. Ban Joo-yeon recorded this too, noting the blatant defamation that could harm the company's atmosphere. Unbeknownst to Baek Soo-jung, she was already on a blacklist. As the new boss entered the office, she, hoping to improve relations, went to greet him. She accidentally walked in on Ban Joo-yeon changing clothes and saw a dragon tattoo on his back. Shocked, just as she was about to scream, Ban Joo-yeon grabbed her wrist and covered her mouth. They recognized each other as the parties involved in the recent car accident. Ban Joo-yeon demanded that Baek Soo-jung forget the accident and remember that they had never met outside the company. Baek Soo-jung nodded repeatedly, promising never to mention the incident again. Despite her promise, Ban Joo-yeon still considered her a top security risk. At a staff meeting, he warned her in front of everyone that unlike previous bosses, if there were conflicts between them, Baek Soo-jung would be the one to leave the company. Kwon In-kyung was impressed by Ban Joo-yeon's strong presence at the meeting and thoughtfully brought him a cup of espresso, not knowing that Ban Joo-yeon actually preferred sweets. Claiming to love espresso was just to maintain his professional image. During lunch, Ban Joo-yeon stood in front of a beverage shop wanting to buy a chocolate milk. This was witnessed by Baek Soo-jung, who was eager to improve their relationship. She quickly approached to offer buying his favorite sweets. Baek Soo-jung's repeated near revelations of his identity made her a significant risk. To ensure his hidden traits remained undiscovered, Ban Joo-yeon decided it was necessary to eliminate the threat posed by Baek Soo-jung. Since then, Ban Joo-yeon started to deliberately make Baek Soo-jung's job difficult, hoping she would resign on her own. However, Baek Soo-jung excelled at her work and overcame every challenge. After work, she went to dinner with colleagues who advised her not to confront Ban Joo-yeon. Just as they were about to reveal Ban Joo-yeon's background to her, he suddenly entered, complaining that they didn't invite him to the meal. To improve relations, Baek Soo-jung proactively grilled meat and poured drinks for Ban Joo-yeon. But the evening turned into a heavy drinking contest. Both were determined not to lose, And eventually, Baek Soo-jung got Ban Joo-yeon drunk. He endlessly asked for chocolate milk. When Ban Joo-yeon woke up covered in chocolate milk stains and saw the empty boxes on the floor, he remembered asking Baek Soo-jung for milk the previous night. At work, he overheard Baek Soo-jung sharing the story of his drunken state with colleagues. Feeling his pride hurt, he lost control and mocked Baek Soo-jung, calling her a worm and weed, claiming he spared her only because he didn't want to dirty his hands. He warned her not to overestimate herself. Insulted, Baek Soo-jung stormed into his office and yelled at him. The situation escalated, and colleagues had to pull her out. Kwon In-kyung believed that since Ban Joo-yeon was publicly challenged, the only solution was for Baek Soo-jung to resign voluntarily. Otherwise, any report of the incident could be interpreted as workplace bullying by Ban Joo-yeon. After calming down, Ban Joo-yeon also reflected on his excessive behavior. Colleagues comforted Baek Soo-jung and informed her of Ban Joo-yeon's real identity as the sole grandson of the chairman and the future heir of Yongshang department store. Startled by this revelation and eager to secure her job, Baek Soo-jung decided to take the initiative. She sought to find leverage over Ban Joo-yeon to prevent him from firing her. After work, Baek Soo-jung secretly followed Ban Joo-yeon and saw him entering a public restroom with a suitcase. When he re-emerged dressed in a youthful, eccentric style, completely unlike his serious business attire, she was shocked. She followed him to a nightclub and saw him jumping joyfully to rock music, completely overturning her previous perception of him. Baek Soo-jung took photos and sent them to Ban Joo-yeon, hoping to use them as bargaining chips for negotiation. Surprisingly, Ban Joo-yeon quickly approached her for a face-to-face discussion. They met at a fast food restaurant downstairs. Ban Joo-yeon looked longingly at the milk tea and hamburger on the table, but restrained himself to maintain his image. Getting straight to the point, he agreed no longer to target Baek Soo-jung for removal, but instead to place her under surveillance and protection. The condition was that Baek Soo-jung immediately delete the photos and be at his beck and call. Focused solely on keeping her job, Baek Soo-jung quickly signed the agreement. Baek Soo-jung soon realized that Ban Joo-yeon's demands went beyond what was initially agreed. Whether dining with colleagues or eating alone, Ban Joo-yeon would summon her and even assign her meaningless tasks like shredding paper. Baek Soo-jung was confused. She had simply become aware of Ban Joo-yeon's private hobbies, which were harmless and not scandalous enough to make social news like those of other chaebols. She didn't understand why Ban Joo-yeon felt the need to keep them secret. Ban Joo-yeon explained that such leisure activities were unnecessary for an heir like him, just as he couldn't grasp why Baek Soo-jung was so dedicated to her work. Baek Soo-jung replied that it was her way of life, without mentioning that she once saw Black Flame Dragon in the game as her first love, and had hoped to depend on someone else for the first and last time. After being disillusioned, she decided never to rely on others again and to handle everything on her own. They didn't understand each other's views, but agreed to respect each other's ways. Baek Soo-jung had a tough day shredding papers and was looking forward to the end of her workday. However, Ban Joo-yeon wasn't ready to let her go and took her to a clothing store to pick out clothes for himself. After finally choosing the right outfit, he asked Baek Soo-jung to try on a dress. When she came out dressed, Ban Joo-yeon was stunned by her beauty outside of work. Ban Joo-yeon took Baek Soo-jung to a dinner to meet clients. Some chaebol heirs saw Ban Joo-yeon and started whispering disparagingly. They ridiculed him for not fitting in, mentioning his time in the USA where he neither drank alcohol nor gambled, and noted his lack of female companionship unlike them, who were surrounded by women. They even tried to find a woman for him, which Ban Joo-yeon firmly rejected, saying that he found the pleasures of alcohol, women, and gambling superficial. One of the chaebol heirs, angered by the rebuttal, stepped forward to confront him. Meanwhile, Baek Soo-jung was being harassed by another unknown chaebol heir at the poolside. He grabbed her wrist, attempting to lead her away. Baek Soo-jung resisted firmly and kicked him. The chaebol heir, not taking the rejection well, uttered offensive words and raised his hand to her. At that crucial moment, Ban Joo-yeon arrived just in time, subdued the chaebol heir, and pushed him into the pool. Then he elegantly turned around and gently took Baek Soo-jung's hand. When they left, it started raining heavily outside. Baek Soo-jung's stomach grumbled, and Ban Joo-yeon took her to a fast food restaurant. There, They had a promotion offering a free toy with the meal. Seeing this, Ban Joo-yeon asked Baek Soo-jung to take her food to go, not wanting her to see his childish desire for the toy. The next day, Baek Soo-jung returned the skirt she wore the previous night. Ban Joo-yeon scolded her, saying it was common sense to wash worn clothes before returning them. After his remark, he scanned all the employees, feeling they all needed etiquette training. Baek Soo-jung was upset, but agreed to take the skirt back, wash it, and return it. Back in his office, Ban Joo-yeon remembered how stunning Baek Soo-jung looked in the skirt. He had scolded her because he thought she looked good in it and indirectly wanted to give it to her. Baek Soo-jung didn't understand him and complained to her colleagues that Ban Joo-yeon lacked manners. Just then, Ban Joo-yeon appeared at the door. She quickly explained that the one lacking manners was not Ban Joo-yeon, but herself. During a branch visit, Ban Joo-yeon accurately pointed out the problems. Baek Soo-jung admired his precision. She noticed Baek Soo-jung looking at a store and excitedly explained that its sunglasses were his favorite brand, worn by his favorite band's lead singer. He then showed her the sunglasses case he carried. Baek Soo-jung explained she was looking at a slightly crooked letter on the sign. As she went to inform the staff, a customer argued with a clerk over the expensive repair cost. Ban Joo-yeon, upset that someone insulted his favorite item, snatched the sunglasses and declared that those who don't appreciate their value shouldn't own them. He threw the sunglasses out, put on a new pair, and posed in front of a model's photo. Baek Soo-jung didn't understand his bizarre actions and hurriedly calmed the customer, convincing him to buy a new pair of sunglasses. When the customer put them on, Ban Joo-yeon was shocked to realize it was his favorite band's lead singer, unrecognizable without makeup. Baek Soo-jung, seeing his fanboy moment, got the singer's autograph on his glasses case. Ban Joo-yeon was overjoyed. Baek Soo-jung admired how passionately he loved something and didn't think his interests affected his eligibility as an heir. For the first time, someone understood and supported his hobbies, which moved Ban Joo-yeon. He then pulled Baek Soo-jung aside, cautioning her about the fountain, bringing them closer in an ambiguous atmosphere. Back at the company, in front of director Kwon, Ban Joo-yeon admitted Baek Soo-jung's strong work capabilities. Baek Soo-jung also praised Ban Joo-yeon's decisiveness and leadership to her colleagues, acknowledging him as a qualified boss. Baek Soo-jung worked late. Ban Joo-yeon awkwardly told her he wanted to gift her a dress because it looked good on her. After speaking, Ban Joo-yeon carried a signed sunglasses case to his secret base. His friend Kim Shin-won visited, and he casually placed the case aside. Kim Shin-won slept with a woman he had only met twice, feeling an initial spark. He asked Ban Joo-yeon if he believed in fate, reminding Ban Joo-yeon of his first love. He thought they were meant to be, but Baek Soo-jung found it utterly disgusting, a dark part of his past and a heartache. The woman with Kim Shin-won was Seo Ha-jin, who had played games with Ban Joo-yeon years ago and was now a longtime friend of Baek Soo-jung. Kim Shin-won was excessively gentle with every woman. His ex-girlfriend couldn't stand his behavior and broke up with him at Seo Ha-jin's restaurant. Witnessing this, Seo Ha-jin comforted Kim Shin-won with food, which he praised. He revisited and taught Seo Ha-jin how to take good photos for promotion. Their fingers touched during the lesson, sparking a strong attraction. Seo Ha-jin bluntly asked if he wanted to sleep with her, and they did. After Kim Shin-won left, Ban Joo-yeon relaxed at the secret base, recalling Baek Soo-jung's words about pursuing what one loves, filling him with satisfaction. He logged into Black Flame Dragon's account to contact Seo Ha-jin, learning she had opened a new restaurant. He immediately sent expensive opening gifts. Baek Soo-jung noticed their value and asked Seo Ha-jin when she had made a wealthy friend. Seeing Black Flame Dragon's signature, she could not accept that Seo Ha-jin was still in touch with him, as it was her shameful past. Seo Ha-jin explained they only contacted occasionally. If Baek Soo-jung was unhappy, she could throw the gifts away. Baek Soo-jung did not want to waste good items and instructed Seo Ha-jin to sell them. At work, Baek Soo-jung ran into Ban Joo-yeon in the elevator and was curious about his watch. She leaned in to look, realizing too late they were too close, just as the elevator doors opened. Kwon In-kyung saw this, and Baek Soo-jung hurried out. She noticed a pink toy on the ground. Kwon In-kyung inspected it and asked whose it was. Ban Joo-yeon turned pale, claimed an emergency at home, and rushed back to check the toy box, finding one missing. Painful memories surfaced in Ban Joo-yeon's mind. He was late for his parents' memorial service, and his grandmother had people search his room and found many cherished toys. She scolded him, blaming him for his parents' deaths, and accused him of not repenting. She then ordered the toys to be burned, including dolls his parents had given him. Despite his pleas, they were all burned in vain. At the company, when he saw a doll, he thought his secret was exposed again, so he rushed back to check. He then found the missing doll under a cabinet. The doll at the company wasn't his. Relieved it was just a false alarm, he returned to the office. He overheard colleagues guessing who owned the doll and criticizing the owner as childish. Seeing Baek Soo-jung among them, he got angry, thinking she was two-faced, and demanded she return the skirt or pay for it. Baek Soo-jung had already sold the skirt and urgently contacted the buyer to negotiate a return and refund. The buyer was unhappy with her actions and blocked her. Meanwhile, Ban Joo-yeon bought a new set of equipment and was relaxing in his secret base when a circuit malfunctioned. He looked for a nearby hardware store for repair and chose the one owned by Baek Soo-jung's father. Learning the address was too far, her father thought of refusing, but Baek Soo-jung, hearing the offer was 5 times the usual rate, quickly took the job and went instead of her father. Ban Joo-yeon, hiding in his car, sent messages directing Baek Soo-jung to the entrance of his secret base. Watching her on the surveillance, he found her silhouette familiar. Baek Soo-jung saw the signed glasses case and realized she was at Ban Joo-yeon's house. She called out his name over the phone. Ban Joo-yeon, recognizing her face, rushed out of the car to stop her from opening the door, but it was too late. As she pressed the button, the door to Ban Joo-yeon's secret base slowly opened. To hide his true nature, he lied that it was his nephew's room and asked her to leave immediately. Baek Soo-jung insisted on completing her task and fixed the faulty circuit, restoring the lights and music. Ban Joo-yeon, unable to resist, followed the rhythm. Baek Soo-jung instantly knew this was indeed his room. To confirm her suspicion, she casually pulled out a record from the cabinet. Ban Joo-yeon hurried to stop her, then ended up explaining the record's release year himself. His involuntary actions revealed his secret. He thought Baek Soo-jung might use this information against him, but she said it helped her understand him better. As Baek Soo-jung stepped back, she almost tripped. Ban Joo-yeon quickly caught her by the waist. Close together, they stared into each other's eyes, each heart racing. Baek Soo-jung was preparing to leave and mentioned she would return the money for the dress in a few days. Ban Joo-yeon asked discontentedly why she sold the gift he gave her. Only then did Baek Soo-jung realize that Ban Joo-yeon had intended the dress as a heartfelt gift. Before she could respond, she received a call from the hospital informing her that her father had fallen and was in the hospital with a fracture. Concerned she might be too distraught to drive safely, Ban Joo-yeon offered to take her to the hospital and arranged a VIP room for her father, explaining it was a company benefit for employees' families to ease her worry. Baek Soo-jung was touched by this unexpected kindness from Ban Joo-yeon. After sending Ban Joo-yeon away, Baek Soo-jung sat alone in the corridor, recalling her mother's death in a hospital and feeling an instinctual fear of hospitals. Though her father's injury wasn't severe, she couldn't help feeling sad. Ban Joo-yeon returned with a gift for the sick, but seeing Baek Soo-jung crying, he didn't approach. Instead, he left the gift at the nurse's station and texted her to pick it up. Later, her brother took over caring for their father, and Baek Soo-jung went to Ban Joo-yeon's house to retrieve a toolkit she had left there. As she was about to leave, her car broke down. Ban Joo-yeon insisted she get out of the car and immediately take it for repair. Baek Soo-jung wanted to manage, but Ban Joo-yeon, whose parents had died in a car accident, blocked the car door and firmly demanded it be sent to a repair center, not allowing any safety risks around him. The car couldn't be fixed quickly, so Ban Joo-yeon provided Baek Soo-jung with a new car. When she hesitated to accept it, he claimed he was lending it in his name, and she could return it once her car was repaired. Baek Soo-jung still found it excessive and said she could use public transportation. Ban Joo-yeon whispered in her ear, hoping to show a compassionate and approachable leadership style, leaving her no choice but to drive the new car home. Ban Joo-yeon and Kwon In-kyung went on a business trip. A young boy accidentally knocked Ban Joo-yeon's tablet to the ground, containing important data. Luckily, there was a backup on the company computer. Kwon In-kyung wanted to call the secretary to send the files, but Ban Joo-yeon suddenly stopped him, claiming he had a backup on his phone. He then rushed to the bathroom to call Baek Soo-jung, asking her to send the files from his office computer. Baek Soo-jung didn't understand his secrecy until she needed to enter the startup password. Embarrassed, Ban Joo-yeon admitted the password was, "I am the devil." Later, Baek Soo-jung couldn't help but laugh when seeing Ban Joo-yeon, surprised his computer password was so quirky. She noticed he never drank the company's beverages and thoughtfully prepared his favorite chocolate milk. Ban Joo-yeon drank it like a content child. He thought he'd be annoyed by Baek Soo-jung discovering his secrets, but now felt having someone know them wasn't so bad, because sharing them felt wonderful. Baek Soo-jung remembered sharing secrets with Black Flame Dragon, who had been a source of comfort when she missed her mother. She had once relied on Black Flame Dragon emotionally, but everything changed after they met. Kim Shin-won longed to see Seo Ha-jin every day and realized he had fallen for her. He confessed his feelings, hoping she would date him. Seo Ha-jin immediately refused, explaining she had gone through a failed marriage and was not considering dating. After closing her restaurant, Seo Ha-jin went to eat with Baek Soo-jung near the company. They coincidentally met Ban Joo-yeon on the street. Seo Ha-jin only knew him by his gaming name and blurted out, "Black Flame Dragon." Before studying abroad in the US, Ban Joo-yeon had met Seo Ha-jin once and asked her to pretend not to know him in public because he had a mission that required him to sever ties with his past. Seo Ha-jin, not wanting to lose her gaming partner, hoped he could help with guild missions when available. They continued to stay in touch intermittently. Ban Joo-yeon and Seo Ha-jin sat back to back, communicating through headphones. He suspected Seo Ha-jin knew his identity and was following him. Learning she was just nearby for errands, he temporarily trusted her but insisted that she must act as if she didn't know him if they met again. Right after Ban Joo-yeon left, Baek Soo-jung arrived late and took Seo Ha-jin to a popular restaurant. She shared that her father had been hospitalized and she had been overwhelmed, thankful for her boss's help. Previously, Baek Soo-jung had cursed him as crazy, but now Seo Ha-jin sensed admiration and shyness in her expression, suspecting Baek Soo-jung had feelings for him. Baek Soo-jung claimed being single was more comfortable, but it seemed like she was hiding something. Following his grandmother's instructions, Ban Joo-yeon restructured the company internally. He issued an obviously flawed decision about a new store to test if employees would challenge him despite his status. Only Baek Soo-jung, unafraid of power, objected in the meeting and demanded a new plan. Ban Joo-yeon revealed his intentions, announcing that Baek Soo-jung was the only one who passed the test. He planned to speak with each of the others individually. Baek Soo-jung, surprised this was a test, felt uncomfortable and went to the rooftop alone. Ban Joo-yeon asked how he could help her feel better and what she usually did when upset. Learning Baek Soo-jung used to enjoy gaming but stopped after being deceived, he took her to an amusement park. There, unlike online games, there was no deception. They tried various activities, forgetting their worries while competing in games. Baek Soo-jung, unwilling to lose, grabbed Ban Joo-yeon's hand and asked for another round, then quickly let go, realizing her behavior. They both deliberately ignored this unintended intimacy. Soon after, Seo Ha-jin called Baek Soo-jung to invite her for a meal at her restaurant. Hearing that Baek Soo-jung was with her boss, she invited both of them, eager to meet this legendary boss. On the way to the restaurant, Baek Soo-jung's shoelace came undone. Just as she crouched down, Ban Joo-yeon also knelt down and began tying her shoelace for her. As they looked up, their faces were close together, creating a tense, charged atmosphere as if time had stopped, with only each other in their eyes. However, at that moment, Seo Ha-jin's call came inopportunely, warning Baek Soo-jung not to come because Black Flame Dragon was there.